Hello, and thank you for joining me for this overview of the features provided by the endpoint security version of VIPRE Business. VIPRE Business comes in 3 flavors: antivirus, premium, and endpoint security, and the purpose of this presentation is to provide insights on the benefit of the endpoint security version over the others. So, without further delay, let's begin. While the console itself will look very familiar, it's inside the policies that we'll see the actual additions. Let's start with endpoint security's most exciting feature, Advanced Active Protection. While version 9 introduced a dramatically improved scanning engine, endpoint security goes a step further by adding another layer to the live protection component of VIPRE, which guards the system between scans. The standard active protection will work how we're normally used to security software operating, files being scanned on either execution or touch. Execution scanning, as its name suggests, will scan files just as they're about to run. On access or touch scanning will inspect a file when it's touched, which is simply an action which involves a file. The advanced active protection won't replace this feature, but will instead add another layer on top for additional security. I've set up a quick animation to help visualize the process. As we've covered, when a file is run on a system, it's scanned by VIPRE's standard active protection, as we're used to. The advanced side of active protection comes into play once the file actually executes, monitoring all of the actions the process takes. Should these actions become malicious, VIPRE will respond with a few actions of its own. First off, the process itself will be terminated and the associated file quarantined. Then, thanks to the list VIPRE has of its actions, we can undo a vast majority of changes, the only real limitation being as if files themselves have been changed, obviously because we don't have a backup of every file on the system. Finally, all the details regarding not only catching, but also remediating the threat will be uploaded to our definition server, so the next update will ensure all VIPRE users will be able to stop this threat at the standard active protection level. In the end, my favorite way to describe this feature is simply, it doesn't care what a file is, just what it does. And this advanced heuristics engine provides powerful protection against zero-day threats, as well as advanced malware, such as ransomware. The next feature we're going to take a look at is called device control. And this feature allows administrators to decide which removable devices end users assigned to a policy with this feature turned on are able to access. Each category can have basic permissions assigned, such as full, read-only, or no access, but the real fun of this feature comes with the granularity that we can have with the exceptions we make to these basic rules. For example, we could say no one in this policy has access to USB flash drives except the administrators group from Active Directory. Or, since we can make exceptions off individual devices, we can say no one has access to any drives outside of one that everyone has read access to. In the end, this feature allows administrators to be more confident in regards to the external end-user devices being connected to endpoints. On top of control, this feature also adds removable device encryption, with the idea behind it being to make sure that data leaving the network on removable storage devices stays safe. When enabled, VIPRE will just ask if we'd also like to encrypt removable hard drives along with flash drives. The process itself is nice and simple for end users. When plugging in a non-encrypted device, they'll simply be asked for a decryption password, as well as if they'd like to retain the information already on the device. Accessing the device on another system is also hassle-free. The system in question doesn't need a VIPRE agent or another program installed. The only real requirement is to use a Windows system and to have the correct password. Should the end user forget their password, however outlandish that concept may be, they can request it reset by submitting 2 sets of characters to the administrator. The admin will use these 2 sets to generate a third, which can be used by the end user to generate a new passcode for the device. So, in conclusion, we've reviewed the feature-level differences of VIPRE Business Endpoint Security over the standard and premium versions. There's the powerful heuristics engine of Advanced Active Protection, which provides strong defense for zero-day threats and advanced malware. There's also the surprisingly granular device control, which allows admins control of removable devices used by endpoints. And finally, there's the easy-to-use device encryption, which can keep data leaving the network nice and safe. With that, I thank you for listening to this presentation, and stay safe.